The strange man and woman went out into the wild looking for excitement. He cut off his hair to make a fire. They're in such a hurry. Mostly just wiped out someone else's happy home. I've just got the bird in my hand. I don't know what this bird is called, but I know it's going to taste good. Otherwise, they wouldn't be smiling so much. I wonder if there's anything to eat besides this bird. The show sent people to the South African savannah. It was the first time Linda had faced such an environment. The mood is so excited. I mean, I'm the mother of 2 kids, but he was very fond of wilderness exploration. Nor does she expect to be able to complete the challenge. I just want to make it look good on camera. And Luke was even more excited. He's a wilderness survival instructor. He often takes people on expeditions to various places. This challenge versus the job. No clothes, no tools. It's not a problem for me. He was ready to make it through 21 days. Just hope your partner doesn't drag you down too much. It's happy photographer time again. It was the first time Linda had ever met a stranger naked. She was very shy about it. Just don't make it awkward. Compared to Linda's worry and anxiety, Luke is literally letting himself go. I like the feeling of freedom. He thinks survival in the wild is all about mentality. Skill handicap doesn't matter. Come by yourself and offer free guidance. Soon the two met at the meeting point. The first meeting went better than expected. Take the time to see what tools you have. Luke brought an axe to clear the way, and Linda is this little thing. All I could do was smile and say nothing. You know, this is a very dangerous place. All kinds of dangerous creatures lurk, plus the heat exposure here. They challenged that quite hard. To cross the prairie to the other side, the show gave them good ratings, especially Luke. It's the highest rating of any player so far. Let's see what they do next. After a brief conversation, get into the challenge. The ground was covered with thorns. Even if you are careful, you will still step on it. It can really drive people crazy. That's fine for Luke. I'm afraid the baboons are going to target me. They're not afraid of a shotgun when they're fierce. Try to get away from the baboons to the other side. My partner is still optimistic. Luke thinks this challenge is safe. Linda had a very good impression of him. Luke knows a lot about wilderness survival. I'm just here for free. Drive around and finally see the water. The simplest and most effective method available. That's digging a well next door. Water filtered through sand and gravel. It doesn't look like much, but it is drinkable. It's just that drinking too much isn't very good for you either. Better to find clean water. Look for shelter nearby. What everyone didn't expect was that you'll find a whole deer here. You can't be from the show. Luke has no control over that. Why don't you go check it out immediately? If only we could get some meat. You don't smell anything so far. Originally thought to be hunted by other carnivores, but there are no visible wounds, and it fell near a water source. Luke's worried it's because he's sick. You can't eat it even if it's fresh. Finally decided to give up for now. We'll deal with the fur when we have time. Find a place to build shelter first. It looks like rain over here. No one wants to sleep in the rain. This side of the cave is not so good either. There's animal feces in there. It's pretty clear from the shape that it's a carnivore. I'm afraid he'll sneak in at night and say hello. It's just a good place to be around here. It could be used with a little cleaning. I'll have to make do with staying here tonight. Don't leave until the new shelter is ready. The thunder outside is getting louder and louder. Take the time to gather more materials. Linda didn't expect the challenge to be so difficult. The first day in such a hostile environment, Luke would pull the deerskin off in the rain. This is going to be my cover for the night. The speed of processing that is quite fast. As much as I want to wrap it around me right away. But the deer skin is wet now. It's not going to work when you're under the covers. We'll have to wait until it dries. For now, they still fight the cold by shaking. It gets colder at night. The good news is there's no rain coming in. The bad news is that the surrounding animals are becoming active. The environment is even worse than imagined. The baboons have been making noise outside. It's not breeding season yet. I don't know why they're so excited all the time. You can't have a crush on Luke. The night was harder than I thought. Let's not sleep. It'll be nice to get a nap. We'll have to find a way to start a fire when it gets light. It was hard to get to the next day. The state of mind is terrible. Traces of baboon activity all over the neighborhood. You have to be more aware of your surroundings. Found a relatively open and safe place. Luke sized the shelter first, just enough for 2 people to lie down. After a brief exchange, we begin to gather materials and build. I just didn't expect it to rain again so soon. What else can you do? Can only continue to hide in the cave to rest. How to make a fire is also a problem. If we keep lying here, we're going to catch hypothermia. Now all I can do is shiver and keep warm. Day 3 of the challenge. With their efforts, the basic framework for the shelter is in place. Then you just need to keep adding materials. It took a lot of time. We finally got the shelter. So far, so good. Don't you know what happens when it rains? Now that the shelter's all taken care of, Luke wanted to get some wood nearby. Although the deer is starting to smell. But there's a lot more to it. Something like this could come off as a rope. After a day of collection and adjustment, Luke will now try to make a fire. Let's hope this holds up long enough to make ashes. It was worse than I thought. We haven't gotten much out of this ash yet. The bowstring has already said it can't hold. It made Luke's mouth smell sweet. There's no other way but to get the rope back. But the worm won't wait for him. It stinks out there. The photographer didn't dare get too close. Luke had to go back and discuss it. In fact, Linda's hair can be knitted into a rope. If you don't understand, ask why you don't get your own. Linda was being very generous. Give away a little bit of your hair. I wonder how much hair Luke got away with. I just hope it doesn't get bald. Soon enough to get enough hair. Weave these into ropes. The new bowstring is ready. Let's see if we can get the fire out. This hair works better than I thought, but it just won't make any ash. Luke's in a pretty bad mood right now. There's no way. It'll be cold again tonight. Linda's body was already trembling. Luke isn't any better, is he? The two can only hug each other a little warmer. I don't know how long it's going to take. It was hard till the sun came out. The body just feels a little bit better. It's just Linda's still in a terrible state. His nose is red from the cold. She was afraid she'd quit the challenge because of it. I really need a fire. Linda wanted to find some dry firewood to go back to. Luke tries to eat as much as he can. Give your body some energy before you start the fire. If you can swallow it, eat it. Linda got some fruit here too. These will relieve the craving a little. Overall, it's okay. The spirits of both men are finally improving. Next comes a fire. Luke prayed he could handle it. This time he made a rope out of deer skin. It's definitely tougher than before. We don't know if we can get the ashes out. It's a career-risking fire. Luke picked up the bow drill and rubbed hard. It's worse than I thought. Luke's losing momentum right now. Just choose to rot. Linda felt the challenge was over. She didn't expect her partner to fall over the fire. I was trying to comfort Luke. I didn't think he'd run straight to the other side. Don't want to talk to other people about anything. Go on like this. Don't say your body can't handle it. I feel like I'm breaking down mentally. The challenge continues on the 7th day. Luke was struggling to hold on. He didn't think it was supposed to be like this. Try a different wood this time. If it doesn't work, I'm just gonna have to keep my body up. I was just trying to get it right. I'm pinning all my hopes on this. This one went a lot better than I thought. After a while, there was white smoke. It's not easy. After all those days of trying to get a fire, they were so excited that they both cried. It's not easy. I would have brought a firearm. Luke could no longer look down on the challenge. I almost threw my career away. We're gonna have to keep the fire going. If this goes out, I don't know if I can make a fire. He felt his skills needed to be honed. Thank you for this challenge to improve yourself. He will try to bring his partner to complete the challenge. No more shivering cold at night. The warmth was incredible. The challenge continued on the 8th day. The body is getting weaker and weaker. Need some food to fill up. There are still some active animals around. I just want to hunt a little difficult. Linda felt her stomach protesting throughout the night. I don't know how long this is going to last. It just doesn't feel easy. The challenge continues on the 15th day. During the period, everyone also drank water and ate some wild fruits. Linda's body finally gave up. A headache and a fear of light are very unpleasant. Just lay down in the shelter. It's the first time she feels this bad. I really want to help my partner. It's just hard to stand up in this situation. The more I think about it, the worse it gets. It is now the 17th day. 4 days until the end of the challenge. They are already very weak. It's going to be hard to get to the extraction point. We need to get some meat today. Luke looked at the baboons around him. Suddenly, I have a very bold idea. I wish I could eat it all at once. He was going to go around slowly and try. I didn't expect to find a big bird's nest here. I wish there were eggs in it. It's got snakeskin on it. Luke thinks there must be food in there. Linda immediately lowered the nest down with a stick. I didn't think there would be baby birds in there. It would be nice to catch one. After some fumbling, Linda finally found one that didn't fly away. Luke told her to take care of herself. All it takes is a little bit of force. Linda, that was very hard to bear. It's just my stomach keeps growling. It takes a lot of heart to complete the challenge. With one click, the bird was completely down. A few chicks were also found. Too bad we can't wait for the mother bird. They need time to roast and fill their stomachs. I don't want to do this if I can help it, but I have to say, meat is really very want. Luke thought it was the cruelty of nature. He is now confident that he can complete the challenge. 5 birds in one sitting. Linda knew how hard it would be for the mother bird. Tears of sadness flowed from the corners of his mouth. So we can't even waste bones. It's not good for him to see it. It's definitely been a challenge for so long. I've had the best day ever. Day 20 of the challenge. It's especially easy to get hurt walking on this side. The best thing is to get some shoes. After all, we have a long day ahead of us tomorrow, except to watch out for dangerous creatures. The Briar Jungle was also particularly torturous. The only time I can relax is when I see a helicopter. Just in time for the start. Let it soak in water to soften it up. But it's still a little too hard. But it fits perfectly on your feet. They are confident that they can successfully complete the challenge. Linda doesn't think there's anything she can beat herself up about. Luke is worried that it will rain heavily tomorrow. What I didn't expect was that it came in the afternoon. Worst of all, the water level is rising. I had to go back to the cave. I left in such a hurry. I forgot to put my shoes on. Even if it's hard to evacuate tomorrow, all I can do is shake and hug each other tonight. Somehow I made it to my last day. When you wake up, go to the shelter. I hope the shoe didn't get washed too far. Walk slowly along the river. Luckily, they were all found right here. Then we can get out of here. There's no time for it to dry. Let's hope the shoes hold up to the extraction point. It's been a pretty smooth ride. Just get to the thorn bush and the shoe says strike. Luke tried to fix it, but it didn't work. It's a terrible feeling. It didn't take long before it was completely scrapped. Can only bear the pain and move on. Luke stopped every few steps to pick at him. The mood was very bad. I didn't expect something like this on my last day. It's the rain that soaked my shoes last night. I can't get past it. Linda's encouraging it like a baby now. Hopefully Luke will bounce back. He didn't want to give up the challenge. Take it easy and make your way to the extraction point. Fortunately, the pain didn't last long. We're finally on our way to the extraction point. The helicopter was on time more than ever. Finally able to complete the challenge. Luke thinks he has a lot of room for improvement. I want to be here sooner next time. Linda wanted to get home quickly to see the kids. It's the first time she's been apart for so long. Congratulations to them on successfully completing the challenge. I wonder who else will join us next. Let's wait and see. Don't know how to catch a snake friend to learn. All you need is a sturdy stick, and then we don't have to do anything. Just drop it on his head. Fix the knife before it reacts. The method has a record. Handle it and cook it on fire. Bite down to crunch. It has to be chicken. Where the hell is the show crew? Danny is up for the challenge. She likes to be out in the open. Basic survival skills are mastered. They say it's not an easy challenge. I just wanted to give it a try. And his partner, Jazz, is a firefighter. I know a lot about the field, plus the stress of training and working every day. He is confident that he can successfully complete the challenge. Just the first contact with the environment here. Keith was a little nervous. Plus, you have to be naked. The challenge is much higher. Danny's going to be a lot more aggressive. I don't feel embarrassed about being naked. It's just a basic operation for her. I hope we can have a good night together. Now for the wild survival challenge. I have to say the terrain is not good. Rugged, sharp rocks everywhere. It takes a little while to get to the rendezvous point. It was a good first meeting. People are not embarrassed to be naked. Danny was very happy with his partner. A strong man like that feels safe. Jazz is a little embarrassed by what he's been told. They had machetes and a firearm. Survival in the wild is basically fine. They're on an island in Bermuda. The ocean is full of delicacies waiting to be explored. The land is full of rough terrain, poisonous plants, and dangerous animals. Most people don't dare come here to experience it. They're heading to the water source to set up shelter. After a brief discussion, we start on our way. It's not easy terrain here. Always be aware of your surroundings. That's if you fall. It's really possible to eat on the spot. The two talked as they walked. It was quite friendly. The show still has a lot of interest in this one. They both got average grades, as long as there are no surprises. Challenges should be manageable. The rocks below are as sharp as knives, even if it's not scratched. It's also very difficult to walk on. Jazz was complaining in the background. That's gonna hurt Danny's ears. I really want to give him a backhand and shut up. It hasn't been that long since we started. She didn't want it to be awkward. So endure the irritability of the journey. I don't like to listen to others complain, especially in the wilderness. Negative emotions especially affect the state. Fortunately, the water source was not far ahead. Enjoy the beautiful scenery for a while. On the surface, it was calm. There's a lot of danger lurking down there. Sharp rocks alone can tear people apart. So we need to protect our feet. Danny is going to collect some Aiden for a pair of shoes. It protects you a little bit when you walk. It's not hard to knit at all. With a little guidance, Jazz found the touch really nice. It's a lot more comfortable than the one from the supermarket. The next thing to focus on is building. You know, you burn a lot of energy the first day, especially on water. So once we get the right materials together, Jazz lit the fire first. Because of the peculiarity of this blue hole. See water below, fresh water above. Now the problem arises again. How do you get fresh water without a container? In theory, you don't need to boil water. Sterilize with ultraviolet light from the sun. Just drink water on the surface. Jazz is so thirsty. Try it immediately. How does the water taste? It's not as gross as it looks. I don't know if I'll have a reaction. Not until the challenge is over. Go back and get some more antibiotics. The shelter and the fire have been taken care of. It's a high-scoring team. The first day started off very well. It would be nice to have some more food. After nightfall, the two of them lie on it and admire the stars. The mood was pretty good. I thought I'd wake up naturally. I didn't think animals would venture out here. Jazz perked up instantly. He didn't know what was passing by. Sounds like a pretty big guy. Will you both go over and see what's going on? You didn't find anything when you arrived. We'll have to wait until dawn to check. The challenge comes to day 2. Something must have come to the camp last night. They just didn't find anything, you know? Jazz had to look around. By the way, what can we eat? Suddenly I noticed a pig over there. This is so exciting. Jazz hurried over. Too bad the noise scared the pigs away. Probably the same pig that was running around last night. If they can hunt it, I won't be hungry for the next 19 days. It's just hard with the equipment we have. Might as well collect some crabs. The capture is not very difficult. You really just need your hands. Just be careful with its pincers. Jazz is so nervous right now. Worried the finger would stay here. And Danny tested it with a stick. Wait till you're sure there's crabs. Both keep trying. Just hope a crab comes out. Suddenly, I heard Danny's cheers. I can't believe she actually caught me. Jazz saw this. I didn't feel happy. Instead, he became more negative. Danny wasn't too happy with him. Thought it was a thigh. I didn't realize I was not as strong as myself. Anyway, why don't you cook the crab first? Jazz was in a very low mood. Not even the crabs. Can't accept women as better than you. He's supposed to be taking care of his partner. Danny thinks this guy is real. Dish practice. Don't hold what gender treatment. The mosquitoes become more active at night. They were lying there like a cutting board. Mosquitoes keep coming to experience the buffet. In this case, it would be nice to sleep for a while. You just keep hitting your body, hoping to get rid of them. You don't know how you made it to dawn. He's got bite marks all over him. Danny had to put on more dirt to protect his skin. You can also avoid exposure to the sun. Day 5 of the challenge. A light rain began to fall here. Jazz finds the termite nest and brings it back to camp. He wants to light it up like a mosquito coil. I believe many people know this baby. But every time I look at the burn, it's pretty mediocre. I don't know if it's going to work here. Wait until after dark to find out. Termite nests are useless. It turns the nearby mosquitoes on. I feel like I'm being chewed off. The challenge continues on the 7th day. There's nothing you can do about it. The worst part is getting bitten. Some kind of allergic reaction. If we continue like this, our lives will be in danger. I should have brought mosquito nets. Danny can only keep scratching the skin to relieve the itching. They want to spend the night in the water. Hopefully, it will reduce the number of mosquito bites. They haven't got any food to eat yet. It's been bad enough. The challenge continued on the 8th day. How much she laughed at the start. That's how bad things are right now. I can't get up at all. There's so little food around. Thinking of moving somewhere else. Best thing to do is head for the beach. Although there may be no fresh water to drink. But it's better than starving in the blue hole. It's not an easy walk. Rugged terrain everywhere. I'm afraid I'll fall down if I take one step. It took a lot of time. We finally made it to the beach. The whole person, that is a lot of spirit. Now if only we could get some food. Just be careful of the sharks around. There are a lot of babies washed up on the beach. Gather it all up. There's always a chance it could be used. Resources are refreshed on the beach every day. You can imagine how much garbage there is in the sea. I still hope you can protect the environment. The more Danny collects emotions, the more he gets down. Jazz has quite a collection of bottles. He was going to boil water with it. After a little time to wait, this water still tastes good. Set up a simple shelter before dark. There are a little less mosquitoes here. It's a lot of pressure right now. It's hard to make it to the end without food, and firewood needs to be collected every day. Make sure there is always water boiling to drink. I can't imagine how exhausting this is. Day 9 of the challenge. Jazz was busy keeping an eye on the fire. If this goes out, it's going to be hard to reignite. So far, the only food we can eat is coconuts and conch. You can't take any more of this to get better. Danny couldn't take it anymore. She's going to the sea to try and catch fish. I don't want to keep looking after the fire. And she doesn't think Jazz can hunt. There's no way a partner can pull this off. Jazz felt it was physical and mental exhaustion. He thought his partner was too self-indulgent. Don't listen to your own advice. And Danny's side has managed to find food. Jazz wasn't happy to hear his partner cheer. He thought it was the right thing to do. Danny should stay and watch the fire. But judging by the results, Jazz is not as good at hunting as Danny. He told his partner to hurry back and watch the fire. The rest can be taken care of. Danny doesn't want to talk to anyone. Clean the fish yourself first. This is going to be delicious when it's cooked. Jazz's face is getting worse. Danny didn't expect this from his partner. Is it so hard to admit to yourself? She's not going to comfort her partner. I'm here to finish the challenge. But the food will still be shared. And Jazz wasn't so receptive. The attitude was very bad. Boy, he's pissed off. This man is so childish. Danny really had nothing to say to him, since you can't trust your partner. Then complete the next challenge yourself. Jazz watched Danny work. You don't have to help yourself. Still on the side with that weird vibe. I think men should be in charge. Women are supposed to yell 66 behind their backs. Now it's really inverted. I am very angry now. If the photographer wasn't there. It was about to start. Jazz can't stand this relationship. I would love to go home and rest now. Danny said I'd really appreciate it. Is the issue of men and women really that important? Jazz is the one who's not doing well. Danny had to step up and lead. It was very awkward for the two of them to get along. There has to be some communication. Danny didn't think he had a problem. Practice the dishes. Don't do the whole thing here. Jazz strongly disagrees. It's just food twice. It doesn't count if you haven't eaten it yourself. Next, he'll get food too. If you want to finish the challenge, you should do what he says. I don't know where the show got the talent. Danny says, is it too late to change? The communication between the two sides was not very smooth. Jazz wants to prove himself. He doesn't need anyone to survive. I don't know why this doesn't feel like wilderness survival. It's like a couple fighting over there. The relationship between the two was becoming more strained. The challenge continues on day 12. Jazz is desperate to prove himself. I don't want a woman to finish the challenge. I mean, I'm not too weak to walk, but to complete the challenge, you have to eat it whole. Danny doesn't expect his partner to get food. You could do it yourself with a spear, but the weather won't wait for you. It's been raining for the last few days. Now, they can only stay in the shelter and watch the fire. If this goes out, it's all over. The challenge continues on the 15th day, even though it's not raining. But the lack of food is very hard on the body. The heat from the coconut is not enough. You know, it's only a 2-mile swim to evacuate. The body couldn't hold it up at all. Danny's not as active as he used to be. The reaction is getting slower and slower. It's not much better with Jazz, is it? The challenge is on its 17th day. Danny was too hungry to move. Jazz knew it was time to prove himself. Explore what's around to eat. I didn't think he'd actually find it. Seriously suspect the show through it. Myself as a firefighter. He knows exactly how best to catch a snake, you know? Even though it's all I have. But I can't back down. If I could hunt this, it's not just proof of strength. And lead the team through the challenge. It's just a slap in the face. The snake felt dizzy in an instant. Jazz immediately rushed to mend the knife. Now the mood is so good. It's been a long time to have a good meal. Danny didn't think he could eat snake meat. That's enough to feed 2 people. It sizzles on the fire. Jazz thinks he's got his game back. Is a man's happiness as simple as that? The familiar chicken flavor. The stomach is making a happy purr. Jazz didn't think it was a big challenge. The challenge has come to day 19. The luck is getting better. Found the board on the shore. This is a little bit of assembly adjustment. You can turn into a raft. Just in time, the foam found earlier could be used. Now I am more confident that I can complete the challenge. As long as we don't bring the sharks here. Completing the challenge was a breeze. Before you know it, day 21 has come. Jazz's mental state is very good. Can't wait to start evacuating now. And Danny is ready. I'm just a little worried about the sharks. After all, it's over the coral reef. It's very easy to break your legs. Bleeding with a shark is active. You know what that means. They took the raft and headed for the extraction point. But I didn't walk very far at first. The foot has been injured and the shark is here. Boy, I didn't know the show was about reality. They'll just have to get out of here faster. The show's plane arrived earlier than expected. I guess the director was afraid of something because... Anyway, congratulations on the challenge, huh? Although the two did not get along very happily, but all proved their strength. If we get another chance, Danny was hoping for a new partner. I wonder who else wants to join us next. Let's wait and see.